I'd like to call this village board meeting of September 24th, 2020 to order. Would the clerk please take the roll?
President Jackson,
Here.
Trustee Schmidt,
Here.
Trustee Sullivan,
Here. I read that before the others.
Trustee Light,
Here.
I don't think so.
Trustee Marotato,
Here.
Trustee Pojek,
Here.
Trustee Schroeder.
Here.
Would you all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Now I gotta put these on. The governor of the state of Illinois has declared a gubernatorial disaster proclamation in response to the COVID-19 outbreak, restricting individuals to gatherings of 50 persons or less, and all of the village of Glendale Heights is covered by the disaster area. In light of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, the village president of the village of Glendale Heights has determined that an in-person meeting for the September 24th, 2020 village board meeting is not practical or prudent in light of the disaster. All of the trustees of the village board participating in the September 24th, 2020 village board meeting, wherever their physical location, shall be verified and determined that they can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony during the meeting. And this was signed by me today. And simply it means that Sharon can still be on remotely until this COVID situation, or any trustee until the COVID situation is over. Okay.
Thank you.
That being said, Trustee Schroeder.
May I just, 1 second, Mayor, I just want to verify that Trustee Sullivan can hear us and we can hear her. So Trustee Sullivan, you can hear us, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, and we can hear you. Thank you. Thank you,
can
Mayor.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. The Village of Glendale Heights has implemented several guidelines as part of our efforts to keep the public and village employees safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. When scheduled your inspection with the Community Development Department, you will be asked several questions regarding your exposure to COVID-19 and if you are experiencing any symptoms. If you have had any exposure or are experiencing any symptoms, you will be asked to delay your inspection. If you have been exposed to someone with COVID-19 or exhibit symptoms prior to the scheduling inspection, we request that you cancel the inspection. You will not be charged a re-inspection fee if you cancel the inspection prior to the date of the inspection. Our inspectors will take the necessary steps to ensure the health and safety of all parties involved, including wearing personal protective equipment. Actually, you will also be wearing a mask. So if you have any questions regarding the inspection, please contact Community Development at 630-260-6030. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mary. Trustee Marotato.
Oh, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I'll take this thing off. To enable an efficient and effective street sweeping schedule, parking on streets are not allowed during the month of October and November between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. on one designated day. Color-coded no parking signs have been posted in 4 different zones throughout the village. Parking is prohibited on Monday for the red zone, Tuesday for the blue zone, Wednesday for the green zone, and Friday for the brown zone. To find out your zone, visit the village website. For any questions on street sweeping program, please contact Public Works at 630-260-6040. Registration starts October 1st for the 2020 Turkey Shoot. This end-of-year event will be a 4-person scramble held on Saturday, November 7th, and Sunday, November 8th, at Glendale Lakes Golf Club, and end your day with a free frozen turkey. There are 2 different events, so sign up for one day or both days. Due to the COVID-19, there are various changes to the format of this event. To help socialize distant golfers, there will be 2 starting times for each day, starting at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. For more information or to sign up, please call 630-260-0018. Don't miss your chance to play in this end-of-the-year tradition at Glendale Lakes.
Thank you, Pat. Clerk Schmidt.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
It's not too late to do your civic duty and fill out your 2020 census. There are now 3 convenient ways to be sure you and your family are counted. You can fill out your 2020 census online at www.2020census.gov. Call 844-330-2020, or you can mail in your questionnaire to U.S. Census Bureau, National Processing Center, 1201 East 10th Street, Jefferson, Indiana 47132. The new date to self-respond is now September 30th. Census enumerators are already in our community, knocking on doors to help you fill out your census. Completing your 2020 census affects schools, hospitals, congressional representation, and much more. So be sure to complete your 2020 census because Glendale Heights counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Trustee Light.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Join us Saturday, October 3rd from 10 a.m. to noon for coffee with the mayor and village board at the Center for Senior Citizens. If you're unable to attend and have comments, suggestions, or questions for the mayor or village board, please call the mayor's office anytime at 630-909-5303. Sign up for Code Red text alerts for emergency information from Glendale Heights Police Department. Stay informed and updated regarding missing children or people, criminal activities, severe weather updates, safety threats, and more. To be added to the Code Red text alert, simply text Glendale PD to 99411. If you have any questions regarding this new service, please contact the Glendale Heights Police Department non-emergency number at 630-260-6070. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. Trustee Schmidt.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Do you have what it takes to protect and serve the residents of Glendale Heights? The Glendale Heights Police Department is searching for police officers to join the team. For consideration, all persons must complete an application by Thursday, October 1st. An orientation meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 7th at 7 p.m. at Marquardt Middle School. A written examination is scheduled for Saturday, October 10th at 9 a.m., also at Marquardt Middle School. Please visit the Human Resources page of the village website for an application and minimum requirements needed to apply. For more information, please contact the Glendale Heights Police Department's non-emergency number at 630-260-6070. The Village of Glendale Heights is partnering with the Northern Illinois Food Bank for a food distribution event this Saturday, September 26th, from 9 a.m. to noon at Camera Park. This event will help feed those families and individuals who have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. You do not need to be a resident of Glendale Heights in order to receive assistance, and no identification is required. We ask that you please wear a face covering and remain in your vehicle. Please drive slowly and follow the directions from the staff and volunteers upon arrival. We want to thank all of the supporting organizations for your help in making sure no family or individual goes hungry. For more information, please contact the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. The Village of Glendale Heights has partnered with West Chicago, Hanover Park, Bartlett, Glen Ellen, and other communities from around the United States in conjunction with the National Forum for Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention to participate in Move with the Mayor, a campaign challenging communities to be more physically active. From now until September 29th, you will have access to informative material and virtual online events to help you increase your physical activity. So please join us for the Village of Glendale Heights Move with the Mayor campaign. For more information, please visit www.ghprf.com/Move with the Mayor or contact the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Thank you for that. We have two proclamations before us tonight. The first one is a proclamation to proclaim the week of September 21st through 27th, 2020 as Rail Safety Week. And the other proclamation is Move with the Mayor, recognizing the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Active People, Healthy Nation. So if there are no objections, I will sign these proclamations.
Go for it.
Please do.
No objections.
Okay? Doug, now I think I hand this meeting over to you.
Thank you, Mayor and
You're
Board.
welcome.
We're going to switch the agenda a little bit. We're going to go retirements first and then awards second.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. Brandon. First, I want to thank all of the retired officers, all of our current officers, all of our families, all of our friends that are here to recognize Deputy Chief Oliver and, secondly, Officer Lambert on their 28 years of service. You guys being here means a lot to the department, to the village, and most importantly to the officers and Brandon, Deputy Chief, that you guys being here really makes a huge difference in recognizing not only just their careers, but everything they've given to the department and the village for 28 years of service. Fitting, kind of, that they were hired together and they're kind of leaving together. Not on the exact same day, but close enough. Thank you all for being here. There's a lot of retired guys here, and that's kudos to both of you for being the officers that you were, the friends that you were, and the partners that you both were to everybody that's in this room. So kudos for that. Brandon. I asked Brandon to be deputy chief 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And it has been the single best decision I've made. And he has been my right-hand person. He's been my voice of reason on most everything I've blurred out and don't let me put stuff out. And it's been a great 4 years. And Brandon has really brought our training to the forefront. He set several goals for himself as deputy chief to get get us where we need to get to with what was going on in the world in 2016, 17, 18, 19 in regards to de-escalation, use of force, and NIMS training. Brandon's goal setting for getting us that training to get us crisis intervention training, de-escalation training, crisis communication training, got us the award from the International Chiefs for the One to One campaign of having 100% of our officers certified in crisis intervention. It was also probably the one driving factor in the most recent communication we had with outside company looking at our policies about how well trained we were and all of our policies and how the department is reflective of the training that we've had and the use of force that took place and how that training has helped. That was probably one of the single crucial things that was looked at, and Brandon and I had many conversations about that, and both of us we have nothing to hide, we have nothing to prove other than here's everything we did and everything was validated. So everything that we have done within the police department in the last 4 years, it really is a credit to Brandon and his ability to manipulate the schedule and get people trained and bring, setting the goals for himself within the department to bring us up to where we had to get to for what was going on in society at the time of the last 4 years. Because things have changed in law enforcement dramatically in the last 10 years. And the last 4 years, we've seen all kinds of stuff happen. And because of Brandon's dedication to that training, we survived a pretty invasive incident into our policies, procedures, and training with 100% recognition of everything we did was right. So Brandon was hired in 1992, September 26th. He got promoted to sergeant on March 1st, 2012. And then in April 8th of 2016, he was promoted to deputy chief. He's a 2018 graduate of Northwestern School of Police Staff and Command. He's been a breath op, a juvenile officer, a primary ET, sergeant in charge of the range when he was patrol sergeant, a range officer, crime-free housing coordinator, which is a time-consuming, thankless position that he continued to do as deputy chief. And because of his diligence every day looking at calls for service, we're able to keep some of the chronic nuisance stuff we have at bay. So that's going to be tough for somebody, for George to replace. Taser instructor, airsoft instructor, FATS instructor. There's a whole core of education and experience that, not just 28 years of law enforcement, but just the executive level experience that is going to be retiring. And it's going to be very hard to replace that. He's got over 20 commendations. Probably the 3 best that I read were not from the patrol supervisors, but from residents who took the time to write letters thanking Brandon for assisting them. And it was almost all 3, I think all 3 of them were, stranded motorists on the side of the road and Brandon trying to fix their car and working with the families to get them rides home. People took time out of their day to thank him for what he did. He's got 2 life-saving awards, one in 2011 and one in 2014 for being on scenes immediately and working with the equipment we have, AEDs, and then providing CPR, and both people lived due to actions by him and a couple others. Brandon's also set a goal for this year, actually, prior to retirement, of getting all of our officers updated in the NIMS, and that's a big undertaking. I know the officers loved it, but it was a big undertaking, and it's a lot of online learning. And to get 55 people to do anything in a timely fashion takes a lot of effort. And Brandon was consistent and persistent in getting us to be online for the amount of time we had to be online and get everybody trained. And if we're not trained in it, and we do have something happen and we need to get reimbursed for funding, if we're not trained, we're not getting reimbursed. So it's a pretty important training to have for everybody. So Brandon has set a lot of goals for himself as deputy chief. He's achieved all of them that he set his mind to. He's been my right-hand person for the last 4 years. We have had a lot of after-hour conversations about the department and the needs and the wants, and I'm going to miss those, Brandon. We spent a lot of time after 4:30 discussing the future of the village and the department and our lives. And I've watched his kids grow up for a long, long time. I know them pretty well, and I'm going to miss your dad. And hopefully you don't make him too miserable at home. But sincerely, I'm going to miss seeing you every day after Tuesday. And Brandon's last day is the 29th on Tuesday. And it's a honor and a pleasure to have worked with you. And I wish you nothing but success in whatever you want to do for the next 50 years of your life. Congratulations. Fist bump. So we have Brandon's retirement badge. I'll let you put that back in. A gift from the mayor and board. And the ceremonial plaque, an appreciation for 28 years of dedicated service to the Glendale Heights Police Department and to the community. September 29, 2020, your last day of service. Brandon, it's been a true honor. I've enjoyed immensely your company, your friendship, and it's going to be a different department without you. So thank you very much. Anything you want to say?
I think everyone wants to get these masks off.
Say something, Brandon.
You don't have to. It's good.
So I know everyone is enjoying these masks, so I will keep it brief. Although I will tell you, I have a lot of incentive to not keep it brief because it's great taking this thing off. But so real quick, the chief talked about the department and the direction of the department, and he's right. And things they're good here. And I wanted to say, I'm sure you're aware, but in case you weren't, mayor and board, and especially the citizens of this village, you have a great police department. You really do. And I'm very proud that I was able to be part of it for 28 years. Thank you all very much.
Robin. Robin has spent her entire career in patrol, and probably the most honorable thing that any police officer can do is be a patrol officer. And Robin was hired with Brandon in September 26, 1992. Her last day is tomorrow, so we squeeze this in. During her 28-year career, she's actually had a pretty stellar career. Robin is the person that you can count on, that is calm, that is a great communicator on scenes, that has an eye for bad guys, and the thing that catches that sixth sense that cops have, that when you're driving through a parking lot and you see something that doesn't look right, and then you stop and then you find out what it is, and now you're arresting bad guys. And Robin has had many of those arrests throughout her career. She has raised 3 children while being a full-time police officer, which is a testament to itself with a lot of things. But she has served that role well. I'm going to make fun of you a little bit. When I went from patrol to investigations, somebody had to take over the lead for crashes. Because I led the department in crashes when I was in patrol. Thankfully, Robin came around and passed me, which it was tough to do, let me tell you. Robin's a breath op, a juvenile officer. She has been our primary CPR first aid instructor for the last 15 years. Autism instructor, baton trainer, bike officer. She has been kind of the rock of day shift. She is, again, the calm, bring calmness to any situation, acts very rationally, doesn't get overexcited, tends to be that that person on a scene that can just make everything kind of just ease. And in today's world, we need that. And we need that person who can diffuse. We need that person to do that crisis communication. When we first started doing crisis intervention training, Robin was one of the first officers we sent to that training because she wanted to do it and wanted to learn it, and came back and instructed it and talked about it and put it into practice every day she went to work. And you're going to, I think, see a little bit of that in this video about her calmness as we get to the next part of it, and how cool and collective she was. Had great instincts for catching bad guys, and it's fun when you go back through a patrol file and a career file, you start looking at all the old cases that people got commendations for. You know, Robin had over 20 commendations in her file. Some of the ones that stuck out for me, 1997, conducted a walkthrough of the flea market we used to have in town, noticed that there was a person selling drug paraphernalia that was not legal to be selling drug paraphernalia at the time, and worked with investigations, developed an informant, got an informant, went in there and made buys, and then ultimately led to an arrest. And 650 pieces of equipment were taken out of the flea market that weren't going to be sold on the street, because in 1997 marijuana wasn't legal, and got felonies, right? And then 1999, located 3 subjects on Fullerton Avenue on midnight shift. Got out of her car, thought that was a little bit suspicious. Got other officers there, conducted searches of everybody. Every person there had a handgun on them. One person was wanted on escape from Illinois Department of Corrections. Another incident, a couple of them were actually her being in parking lots and finding burglary motor vehicles in progress, 1 criminal damage in progress. So having that keen eye and being in the right places to go catch bad guys, and that's what patrol officers do. They put themselves in places where crimes happen, and when you see something, you react and you go arrest bad guys. That's what we do. And she put herself there on every shift. I didn't write it down, but at a 26-year veteran 2 years ago getting into a car chase because she wanted to go catch bad guys, right? That's pretty odd. I mean, it shows her dedication to the citizens. It shows her dedication to the officers, and everything she has done in your retirement is well deserved. It's rewarding for me to be up here and say congratulations on a 28-year career, because nobody deserves it more than you with everything that has gone on in your life for the last 10 years anyway. And well deserved. It's an honor to have worked with you. It's an honor to watch you end your career. And God bless and thank you for everything that you've done for the police department and for the village. So. We have Robin's retirement badge. We have her gift. And again, we have her plaque. It says essentially the same thing as Brandon's. But Robin, it's been a honor watching you go through everything and ending up successful and healthy and hopefully going to live a long, prosperous retirement with the kids. And I wish you nothing but success and good health. You're welcome. Anything you want to say? So, Robin, if you can put your stuff away and come back up. Not yet. Brad, Gregors, Justin? I'll tell you one. So, August 24th, at about 10 o'clock in the morning, we were called to 170 Water's Edge for just a person crying on check a well-being call, right? This is a call that we go on pretty routinely, generally not a three-person call, right? Two officers were assigned to it. It's Robin's beat. She was on something else. She showed up kind of after the fact, just as she knew the family. She knew there were some issues at the family and just showed up just to see what was going on. But not generally a three-person call. I'm a believer. I think that there's a higher power that puts us in places to be at the right place at the right time to do the right thing. And I think that happened in this call because there really isn't a reason for three of them to be there. And as we go through this, you're going to see some pretty heroic stuff. You're going to see some selflessness, a lot of selflessness. True heroes in them going into this building, true heroes in them re-going into a building, true heroes in the fact that when you see how significant the fire was, that they came out and they're standing here today. The bravery and the selflessness that these officers showed during this event might not be repeated in the history of Glendale Heights Police Department. We tried going back and remembering how many of these awards we've given out, which is a Chief's Award of Valor, and we can think of 3 in the history of Glendale Heights. Wow. So this is not an award that gets put out very often, and it takes a truly heroic act to achieve this award. If you can show the video, and then I'll kind of talk about it afterwards. Can everybody see the screen? If you haven't seen this before, look to the right side of the screen where the officers are standing.
One Delta 3. Delta 3, go. 1 Delta 3, there was just an explosion on the second floor of 170 Water's Edge, 170 Water's Edge.
10 for explosion, second floor, 170 Water. 10 for kids inside, 91, you copy?
Copy and route.
10 for. 10 for. Advise apartment number, when we get it.
When we get black smoke coming from the apartment, can you get the paramedic truck as well?
10 for advising a number.
I think we got kids in the house. We're going to be going in.
10 for.
Before the 10 up in there.
10 for medics or not.
Local 4, expedited B.
10-4, expediting FD.
One Delta 1, if you could expedite the FD, heavy smoke. We're trying to get everyone out.
Delta 110-4, they were advised they're en route.
So this is where our squad car pulls away so we can make room for the fire department to get to the fire hydrants. But what you didn't hear on this video was right after Robin, actually very calmly for having just seen an explosion and flames, says that there's an explosion, was gunshots ringing out inside the apartment. And officers not knowing what exactly is going on other than they know that there was kids in the house and that they needed to go in there and try and save as many people as they could save. Not only just the kids in that apartment, but also the other residents in there in the building. Not knowing what they were going into, they ran into it. After our squad car pulls away, Officer Lautner's outside, and Robin is still in the apartment, not in the apartment, but in the building, knocking on doors, trying to get people out. You haven't seen Robin come out yet because she's still in there. Officer Lautner goes back up into the apartment when one of the victims there says their other son is still up there. That smoke might be some of the heaviest smoke I've seen come out of a fire. The fire chiefs are here that were on scene that day, and they have told me that's probably one of the hottest fires they've ever been on, and that some of their equipment was actually melting going in. Officer Lautner went back in. He and Robin tried getting back in the apartment to try and find the other child. The smoke and the heat were too much, but they continued up to the other floors and got every person that was still in that apartment complex, in that apartment building, out of the building. And then continued to the next building. You don't see on this video, but Officer Blondin pulls up shortly after this time frame and calmly gets on the radio and says, "Send everybody," which you don't hear very often. And Officer Blondin then worked to get all the connecting buildings residents out of the apartments. All the officers that were here suffered some smoke inhalation, some heat-related stuff, all went to the hospital, all recovered. Several firemen, because it was a very hot day, several firemen also suffered some smoke inhalation and some heat-related issues. One had a shoulder injury, but he's going to be fine. Right, Chief?
After surgery.
Oh, I got to have surgery, sorry. But everybody else is fine. The dedication to the citizens, the dedication to each other as officers, the commitment to save lives is what we do every day. And law enforcement deals with a lot of in-progress stuff every day. And we deal with what's in front of us. And when we see whatever it is, it could be a cat in the road, it could be a cat in the tree, it could be a vehicle lockout, we deal with what's in front of us. If we go to a violent crime in progress, we deal with what's in front of us. In this incident, we dealt with a very unusual scene for us to be at a fire when it first happens, an explosion when it first happens, to hear gunshots. And this is the true epitome of police officers running into the battle, not away from it. And the heroism and the selflessness and the bravery that each of you showed on August 24th might not be repeated, and is some of the bravest stuff that I've ever seen police officers do. So with that, I am honored and proud to present Chief's Award of Valor, plaques and ribbons. Unfortunately, Rob, he can only wear it for a day. But Chief's Award of Valor ribbons and plaques to Officers Kapusiak Lautner, and Lambert, and then a Division Meritorious Award to Officer Blondin for everything he did on the scene after the other officers were there and working through smoke, severe smoke, to get the rest of the residents and the connecting buildings out of those buildings. Truly a unselfish, brave, heroic, because he doesn't know what's in those other buildings either. And you guys exemplify the best of policing and the best of Glendale Heights, and everybody here should be proud of everything that you've done for the police department and the citizens. So thank you very much. Congratulations again, and these can be worn on your vest carrier or on your shirt, and wear them proudly, display them proudly. We're very honored to be presenting them to you. So that concludes the police department event of this board meeting. Till next week. We have our newly purchased banner outside. So please put that to good use with pictures. You know, we have, the mayor gave her blessing to violate the 50-person rule for a little while. So, shh. We do need to kind of be somewhat within limits. So we can take pictures outside, and those who still need to continue with the board meeting can stay in here. But thank you all for being here. It's sincerely appreciated. The police department is in a better place because of everybody that's in this room today, so thank you.
And a thank you from all of the board, residents of Glendale Heights, all of us. You have a phenomenal, we have a phenomenal police department. And just everybody being here, you guys, you're a special family. And God bless all of you. Just stay safe. And thank you for what you do every day or what you did every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody.
Mayor? Excuse me, Mayor? Mayor, may I suggest just a quick recess of the board meeting so that we can kind of get everybody out and...
Okay, this meeting is recessed for a very short period of time.
Thank you.
I'd like to call this meeting back to order. We now have, do we have a presentation for the update on our
Yes.
village-wide water meter replacement program by Water Resources?
Hello, good evening, Mayor Jackson and Board of Trustees. Again, I'm Mike Padone with Water Resources. I'm the Vice President of Water Resources. With me, I have my brother Brett Padone and Anthony Gattuso. We were here once before. We had the pleasure and the honor to come in back in the winter time at the beginning of the project to provide an update on how the project was going to that point. And now that we're nearing the end of the project, we have another opportunity just to give you a snapshot and an update on how the project has gone. So we put together a brief slideshow, and we'd like to go through those slides now and give you a chance, if you wish, to ask any questions at the end.
Could you please take your mask off so we could hear you a little better?
Yes, of course, gladly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels better. Okay.
Or understand them.
Thank you. That's better. Okay. So we have a few slides, and what we would like to do in the course of these slides is just give the board a kind of an update on where we stand in terms of total number of completed installations, what our appointment backlog is looking like at this point, something that was obviously near and dear to many of your hearts, and that was the additional or the optional valve replacement component of the project, as well as just some brief feedback on the installations. So in terms of where are we at to date with the completed installations, these numbers were as of the end of the day yesterday. So we were at just under 7,200 completed installations. That put us out of a little over 8,900 total service accounts at an approximate percentage of completion of about 80%. Additionally, for the large meter portion of the project, which was an area of focus at the beginning of the project, we were over 99% complete with the largest meters, size 2-inch and above. So we have roughly about 1,700 installations remaining to complete the project. Moving on to the next slide, just to give you an update on the appointments and where we stand with our appointment backlog. We have a little over 400 appointments, 416 to be exact, that are currently scheduled. In terms of all of the completed installations to date and the total number of appointments that have been made so far, we've broken those down and categorized them by those that were made using our online appointment web scheduling program. And a little over 30% of the total appointments made to date were using that program. And nearly 70% of the appointments that have been made by your residents and businesses were made by those folks calling our call center in Elgin over the phone and making the appointments. Moving on to the valve replacement portion of the program. Again, this is where we were offering up the opportunity to provide at the resident's cost a new valve or 2 new valves if they wish to have us replace the valves at the time we were there to put in the new radio transmitter and water meter. So to date, we've had a total of 109 valves replaced, and that was performed on 93 individual homes. So there were actually 16 of the village residents that elected to have us replace both valves in their home. In terms of the average amount of time that we've been taking to install the new meter and radio transmitter, it's been ranging from about 30 to 40 minutes on the average. Some take less, some take a little bit longer, but that's about the average time. Again, as back then, early in the project, and remaining to be the case now, overall things are going quite well and very smooth. The communication has been really great, working with the village staff and the village team. And our call center has had really nothing but good things to say about communication with the residents. Most people have been cheerful and have been more than willing to comply with our request to call and get the appointment scheduled and get their work completed. So with that, I think we're on our last slide now, but if there are any questions about the project, we'd be free to entertain those.
Does anybody have any questions?
I just have a comment. You guys did a fantastic job. Believe me, you were in and out like lightning.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Any others?
That's all I heard were good things too, so thank you.
Good.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Thank you for being
All right.
here. Thank you for doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to work with such a fine group. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Next on our meeting is public discussion of agenda items. If there's anyone in the public that wishes to address this board on an agenda item, please step forward. Being none, you have the consent agenda before you. Oh. Do you want to talk now or when we call up your?
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. City Board, I would just like to apologize for not applying for a special use permit. I honestly didn't know I needed one. I'm also sorry for getting upset at other meetings. It is just important at this time to keep whatever source of income I have. My business has been in Glendale Heights for 36 years. Please work with me. I am asking for the village's help to make this right. Please help me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's no further public discussion, you have the consent agenda before you. What is your pleasure? Trustee Schmidt.
Move that we adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Now I have old business, which is an ordinance to deny an application for 2 amendments to the previously approved conditional use permit for outdoor storage of vehicles on the premises commonly known as 387 East North Avenue in the village of Glendale Heights, Illinois, Ed & Sons Auto Body. This would be ordinance number 2020-52. Trustee Light.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
Mayor, Sharon. Mayor,
Yes, Sharon, you want to talk?
I have some health issues that doesn't allow me to speak a lot. So I asked Mike Marin to read a statement for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Sullivan sent to my email a statement this afternoon, and it reads, Ed & Sons is in my district. They have been in business for 36 years. To my knowledge, never had a complaint until now because some board members don't like the rental trucks. The village has been in touch with the owner since mid to late 2019. Despite what has been said, the owner has been responding. I reviewed the supply documents from the village. It has not been years as someone was mistakenly reporting. I reviewed the documents from both parties to gather the facts. Did anyone else? North Avenue is a state highway that is for commercial use. We approved the rezoning from residential to commercial. In the past year, we have 3 huge warehouses on North Avenue. Are they aesthetically what we want? Do they look better than houses? Personally, 3 is a lot on one road. It looks like a commercial state road. Now, Ed & Sons is renting U-Haul trucks. This is a supplement to their income to help the owner to pay the bills. Michael Schroeder has been before us now 3 times, practically begging for approval to help keep his business afloat. Now people on this board do not want to approve the business application. It was pointed out to me that I voted against a truck rental business on Army Trail in the old Dominick's. Why would I vote for Ed & Sons and not the other business? The Army Trail business shared the parking lot with Home Depot, an existing business in the village. Now, we should not and cannot prevent competition, but in the same parking lot is not fair to the existing business. That is why I voted against the request. To the board members that don't like the look of occasional trucks being parked in the front of the building, well, if we vote against this permit, then we should be fair and make other businesses that have cars and trucks parked on North Avenue move them every night. After all, we pride ourselves in being a fair board and we support local businesses, right? We will need to pass an ordinance to have Menards, whose rental trucks are clearly seen in their parking lot off North Avenue, Glendale Nissan, whose cars are parked all over the adjacent shopping center, that is a shopping center, not a car parking lot. Sunrise Chevrolet, DuPage Dodge, and Jeep have all kinds of cars and trucks directly on North Avenue. They will need to remove all vehicles from North Avenue every night. Is everyone ready to affect all of these other businesses? After all, we are a progressive and fair board to our businesses, right? Or are we going to selectively deny a long-standing 36-year Glendale Heights small business because of a personal preference? I am asking you to vote in favor of approving the permit for Ed & Sons. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Certainly.
Thank you, Mike.
I would like to say something. We're always here to help everyone that needs help. I don't know why we should make an exception when Ed & Sons comes before us. Recently, you saw on the TV that we had a fire. Everyone came forward to help these people. We had people who gave money to help these people, and they didn't even know them. Now, we know this particular business. We know he needs help. And if we can't come before him and give him the help he needs, what kind of a board are we? In other words, we're very selective. You know, nothing is set in stone except the 10 Commandments. So if he needs help, we certainly can help this individual. This is the time when people are closing businesses. Most of you, if you haven't had this happen to you, I'm sure you know someone who has, where the insurance company has given you a rebate. And the reason these insurance companies are giving rebates is because they're not paying the car dealers to fix cars, because people are not having their cars fixed right now. So that in itself is showing you that businesses are not doing as well as they should. So when you deny this person a permit that he needs when he's offering to do whatever we ask of him, I really have a problem with that. And that's what I'd like to say.
Do you have your hand up, Mike? Mike.
I've known it in the past. I mean, we said no to the other places. I know for reasons we did say no. Everyone did say no to it as far as the truck rental places go. I know that it was an issue in that area, too much, too little space. Over there, I know it's a lot to be putting into a little space, a very tight amount. Yes, it's got something to do with fire. Yes, it's got something to do with the aesthetics. But it's also got something that we're ruling on is what's been set foot before we even got to this point, before I was on the board, where it was said that there was X amount allotted in that spot. And no parking, as far as I found, no parking was allowed up front as far as for vehicles, for repair or business vehicles. I mean, obviously, when you're there, you park up front, because you're an employee, and then you can continue on. So I do know that the ordinance, the way it was written, or am I correct when I say the PUD was, the way it was put forth, it was stated that nothing was to be parked up front. So this kind of falls into that. Now you added more on top of it. It's nothing personal. I know the business well. I know it very, very well. I know things are somewhat down. Being in the business, I understand it quite a bit. But I do know what we've taken and done to keep things going forward and doing well without too much problem for me personally. So I understand the struggle to make it work. But I cannot vote for it for those reasons that were set before I even got on the board, is what they said, what was said before, what you guys have also stood for. So I can't possibly vote for that. I mean, I would love to see it, I'd love to see a business do good, I really do. But I can't vote for this, that's all.
Mike, there is
Sharon?
there's no violation as far as the fire department. And there's a document in the packet that I sent Mike Marin that states that.
I couldn't understand.
And we have not denied anybody else that except the person on Army Trail Road. Otherwise, why is Menards renting trucks?
I couldn't just leave it alone.
Pat?
Joanne, I got a question for you. At the beginning,
I lost you. I lost Pat.
He stopped talking.
Are you on, Pat? Are you? Oh.
Joanne's coming up to the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Pat was talking.
so as I understand this, at the very beginning, there was not allowed for cars to even be parked in the front of the building, right?
At the beginning, when the conditional use was approved in 36 years ago.
Right.
So the original conditional use indicated that any of the vehicles waiting service were required to be parked in the rear.
Okay, so for 35 years, the guy been in violation? No?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
wrecked cars are parked in the front of his place.
correct.
Cars that need repair are parked in front of his place. Why can't he park in front of his own place?
So when the issue of the U-Hauls, okay, when we noted that there was no conditional use for the U-Hauls, we went back and pulled the original conditional use, and unfortunately, staff has turned over. I obviously wasn't here 36 years ago. We did not realize that he was not complying with the originally approved conditional use, so we didn't realize that violation until we started doing the research on the U-Hauls. So we didn't know.
So on the commercial North Avenue, a business section, we're not allowing the guy to even park a car in front of his building, by right?
Correct. 36 years ago, that was the approval, was to not allow, it was only supposed to be for customers going in and employees, as I understand the original approval.
Okay, thank you, Joanne.
Sure.
I think it's ridiculous, but go ahead. Thank you anyway.
What, Pat?
I think it's ridiculous. That's what I think.
Right.
You asked me, I tell you.
How could you have a body shop and nobody park in front of it? I mean, come on.
I was not on the board 36 years ago when the PUD came up. I can't believe.
Then fix it. You don't want the U-Hauls, you can't tell the guy he can't park cars there. That is totally
I can't
ridiculous.
understand.
I understand that. That's my problem.
What did Sharon say?
I don't know, I couldn't.
It's like muffled.
I know.
I do want to say this. When we turned down that other company that was on Army Trail, again, it was because we had an existing business that was there. And this new company would have hindered Home Depot, which was a very good, a very good revenue for us. Not only that, but we weren't now to hurt Home Depot. Where Ed and Sons is, it's not a shopping mall. There are only two businesses there. One's open in the and during the day, and one's open at night. Neither one of them are complaining about the other. And as Sharon stated, North Avenue is not a residential area. You have all kinds of businesses on there. Why would you want to hurt one of your own businesses? Why would you want to hurt an individual who is asking you for help? If you had children, you'd want to help them. Well, this is how I feel about Michael. Michael is one of mine. I've given the board 19 years of my life. I feel like I've been there from day one with that business. And we have done everything the village has asked us to do. So if right now he didn't get the permit when he should have gotten it and he wants to get it now, what is your problem? I have a problem understanding that.
Chester?
My issue is that he's been asked so many times to get a permit, and he completely refuses, and I will not vote
Sorry,
for
Chester,
him.
but
Period.
he did not. He did not. This communication started in November.
Oh, my gosh. You know what?
And he has the
Sharon,
documents there.
Talk for you. Sometimes you don't come through loud and clear.
I don't understand your problem with communications. A permit is required, and you refuse. End of case.
No, that's not true.
He was working with the village. If you looked at the emails, you could see that they were going back and forth, Chester.
Check with Joanne.
I
She'll
did.
tell
She
you.
gave me all the emails.
Okay.
Michael, nobody can hear you from where you're at. If the board wishes to hear you speak, you have to speak at the microphone. That's only if the mayor acknowledges you to speak again, because your opportunity to speak was during public forum. If they choose to let you do it again, they would be waiving their rules, but that's up to the mayor.
Well, I have Bill.
We have denied the permission to run a business like this for two other businesses in the village already. We've set a precedent. We have denied the two other businesses in the village the ability to run a business like this. We've already set a precedent. And to go ahead and turn around and give somebody else a green light, who's to say that maybe the hookah parlor next door wants to rent Enterprise trailers next? Down the street, we can get a Buttrey rental.
Good, let's load up all Glendale Heights with trailers.
Well, then we could look like Manheim Road.
I'll vote for that. Let's get all rentals, all up and down North Avenue.
Gonna open up a can of worms, Pat.
Wait a minute.
Can of worms, and you can't
Okay,
have that.
come on, you guys.
Excuse me.
That's it.
I mean, you know, we're talking crazy right now.
We have a motion
You know-
on the
Is
floor.
there a motion on the floor? Let's vote on this thing, yes to no, and let's get it done.
That's tantamount to calling for the question. It's up to the mayor if you want to call the vote now, Mayor, or you want more discussion. But that's what Trustee Meritato is actually saying. He's calling for the question.
Let's call for the vote.
We'll do the question, and then I'll make my comments.
Well, what he's really saying is
It's better to make them now.
just he's calling the question, which is tantamount to saying, let's vote now. But that's up to you as the chair if you want to end the conversation or the discussion, or you want to let the discussion go on even further.
I don't think the discussion is getting us anywhere. I do want to make a comment on the
Thank you.
Statement that Sharon sent in. Talks about all the other businesses on North Avenue. It talks about the 3 new warehouse buildings. Well, when those buildings, those warehouses replaced a tattoo parlor, an adult use facility, a smoke and vape shop, and an unpaved storage yard for contractors that was a mess, and that piece of property was not even in Glendale Heights. So, did we make an improvement there? Yes, we did. And it was unanimous on the board.
Exactly.
The
Lynn.
other one by, no, my mind just went blank.
Glen Air.
Okay, come on.
My point was, it's commercial.
Glen Air?
My mind went blank.
Was that the Glen Air property?
Glen Air. That was full of dilapidated buildings, totally unsafe, could not be operated. It was horrendous. Plus, we spent a lot of years in court with Glen Air, trying to get them to bring it up to code to where it could be operated. He refused to do that. Finally, somebody got through and purchased it, and there is a nice-looking building there instead of an absolute mess. I always felt that we did what we did because we wanted to make Glendale Heights better, and we tried to improve things. And we all worked together to do that. And now, every one of the car dealerships, everything that Sharon mentioned about their vehicles being parked out there, you know what? That was a part of their PUD, is a car dealership. That was approved, and they had the area to do it. As for the cars from the Nissan being parked in the shopping center, the owner of the Nissan owns that shopping center. So he's parking on his land.
The buildings that I mentioned.
We did not turn Ed and Sons down because we might not like what U-Hauls look like. It was turned down because that piece of property cannot handle the amount of vehicles that were there. It wasn't permitted. When it did go in front of the Plan Commission, the Plan Commission turned it down. If we allow Ed and Sons, then any business in this town that comes in and wants to do that, we have to allow it. We will have set a precedent. We will say, you know what, if you don't want to follow the rules, or if your lot is too small for what you want to do, because we permitted your son's business to do it, then we have to let any business in the entire town, I don't care where it's located, we have to let them do that.
No, it does make a difference where they're located, Linda.
Mary, we have businesses on Bloomingdale Road. What if they decide?
The fire department already went to Ed and Sons. They found no problems with.
Mary, get a copy of the last fire inspection.
Joanne has a copy of it. The copies that she gave me, there was something from the fire department saying they had no irregularities, that it was fine. Joanne, it's either the 4th.
Mike Maron has a copy.
I can't hear you, Joanne.
That was Trustee Sullivan. Trustee Sullivan, I looked through the copies that you gave me. That seems to be an incomplete packet. I know the latest inspection by the fire district had a number of violations that were located, and I believe that Joanne is frantically searching through her stack of paper to find that.
It was on Mike's fire letter, or the letter from the fire department is from Tuesday, January 22nd.
That wasn't the last inspection, Sharon.
Oh, I'm sorry, August 14th, 2020. I'm sorry, you're right. August 14th, 2020, excuse me. I was looking at the wrong thing.
And it says there's no problems?
An inspection of your facility on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019, revealed no violations to the fire code of the city of Glendale Heights. I could text you it if you want.
Correct. No, I'm looking at it right now, Trustee Sullivan, and you're correct. What you read was that the inspection on Tuesday, January 22nd of 2019. Joanne
Correct.
has an additional inspection that was conducted in, I believe, August of 2020.
Correct.
Well, she gave us this one.
Right, it said, you must correct them upon receipt. Inspection to determine compliance will be conducted Monday, August 31st at 2020. I need to find that one. So there were violations. I'm sorry, the fire district review is a little confusing. I did provide copies to Sharon and Trustee Sullivan and Trustee Schroeder. There's one more letter. If you want to talk, I will find the other letter.
Yes, please do.
Well, it would have been nice if we had it. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous.
Joanne, are you also finding the email where the fire department said there were no problems? Are you just finding the one where there was problems? I only saw one email saying that the fire department had gone there and there were no problems.
Okay, what I have is what was provided to Mr. Schroeder August 20th, 2020, which was provided to the village board members at the previous meeting, I believe. Inspection of your facility on August 20th, 2020 revealed the violations listed below. Let's see, this was, containers located in the building may need to be in outside location, research to be done by the inspectors for containers. Ceiling clearance, rack storage height, 18 inches of clearance required. Remove combustibles from stairway to roof of build out. Equipment rooms, mezzanine area, storage area shall be cleaned of heating elements, 36 inches. Labeling, circuit labeling and panel shall be verified and typed, no tape or stickers. Unapproved conditions, open wiring on compressor. Mr. Schroeder has this letter.
But the emails you gave me, I didn't see that. I have to tell you that. When you gave me that packet the other day, and I sent all those emails to Sharon so she could read them too.
Correct. You had requested all the emails. This was not an email. This was a letter that Mr. Schroeder had. So I did not, I apologize if you wanted all of the documentation. You'd requested copies of all the emails. So this was not an email document.
Joanne, wasn't there something about a rear door being blocked all the time? That rings a bell with me.
Oh, hang on one second. Rear exit door impeded by U-Haul van.
Right.
Okay, I understand all those violations, which he's totally wrong. I mean, he should have fixed those. But that has nothing to do with what he wants to do. All the violations are inside his building. It has nothing to do outside.
I was asked to provide copies
I
of...
remember.
Well, the blocking of the rear exit door by U-Haul, that would be an outside violation, but the remainder is inside.
Okay, thank you, Joanne.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say, and I know this is going to make some people very unhappy, but all I'm gonna say is if it was not your son, Mary, not Sharon's nephew, this whole discussion would never even be taking place. It went to the Plan Commission without any board intervention, without anybody saying anything. A whole nother group of individuals recommended denial because of the lack of space for it and the issues with fire. Michael said at many meetings, you don't worry about it. I have a sprinkler system. You don't have to worry about it. I believe in that last report, Joanne, was not the room that contains the pump for the fire extinguishers or whatever was blocked with storage.
Those fire extinguishers were checked every year.
Mary, we're not even talking fire extinguishers. We're talking where the pump was at for the sprinkler system.
And the other thing, Linda, you said that the Plan Commission denied it. Many times they've denied things and the board have overruled them.
You know what, Mary? And I'm not saying that the board can't overrule it. But I need to know that's the best for the village. It's not about we don't want to help somebody. We've tried through this whole thing to help everybody. We have a food distribution. We've had one a month for months because we care about people.
Linda, I'm not saying we don't care.
Right.
But we have helped small businesses, and I haven't always voted against a small business.
Mary, it's not against the business. It's against the use and what is being operated there. It's not against...
Linda, Mary, Mayor, I agree with Pat. We should start voting on this because we can just make this for hours.
That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, I see this is going nowhere, so let's vote on it and let's get it done.
I agree.
Mayor,
Yes?
this is Sharon.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. I did not say I didn't like those buildings. I'm saying those are commercial buildings in a commercial area. Those buildings are an improvement. I have nothing against our village. We have a wonderful village.
I understand, Sharon. I know where you're coming from.
Okay.
It
So don't say that I insulted those buildings.
well, that's what your
No, it didn't.
statement said.
That is commercial.
But
Maybe I
I
said
realize it's in a commercial area. It's on North Avenue.
Exactly.
But so were a lot of things on North Avenue in commercial
Exactly.
districts.
I know, I couldn't elaborate. Okay. I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Everybody ready for the vote?
Yes.
Just to be clear, I think there was a motion and a second.
There is a motion, trustee Light and trustee Pojek seconded.
And this, just to be clear, the ordinance is to deny.
Right.
Correct.
So vote in favor of the ordinance, a yes vote, is to vote to deny the conditional use for Ed and Sons. Is everybody, did I say that correctly? And
Yes.
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 What was that, Mike? How was that?
If you vote in favor.
A yes vote is to deny.
a yes vote is to deny the conditional use, the amendments.
Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Sullivan?
No.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
No.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
No.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
President Jackson?
Yes. Now I totally lost track of what I was thinking.
Well, basically, the ordinance is approved, Mayor.
Ordinance number 2020-52 that denies the application for 387 East North Avenue has passed. Now we go on to new business. Number 1 is a motion to waive first reading on new business items 2 and 3. Trustee Schmidt.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next is ordinance. An ordinance extending temporary executive powers pursuant to 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6. First reading has been waived. This would be ordinance number 220-53. Trustee Light.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-53 is approved. Number 3 is an ordinance to waive bids and accept the proposal of Lane Christensen Company for the inspection and repair of the pump for well number 11 at the Glendale Lakes Golf Course and authorize the execution of a contract by and between Lane Christensen Company and the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. First reading has been waived. This would be ordinance number 220-54. Trustee Schmidt.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Chester.
Yeah, this well, number 11, where's that located at? Is that the new one that was put in? No? Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-54 is approved. Number 4 is an ordinance to approve a conditional use to permit outdoor storage at 155 International Boulevard in the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is Nexius Solutions Incorporated from the September 3rd, 2020 Committee of the Whole, and that is first reading. We are now back to public discussion of agenda items or any other item you wish to discuss because there is no Committee of the Whole.
Mayor?
So, Chester?
I have one for Mr. Don, God, my mind went blank, to our attorney, Storino. Is there a time limit for Ed and Son to cease operation of that Ed and Son's?
Well,
It's been denied. Is it the end? He cannot do any more business with U-Haul?
well, we would have to take action to enforce the board's decision this evening. So it's about enforcement of the regulations that we imposed and decided tonight. When that'll be done, I can't really answer that tonight,
Okay.
Chester.
I was just wondering.
If there is no more public discussion, if nobody else wants to talk, a motion to adjourn would be in order. Trustee Schmidt.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.